What's up everyone, it's Tony here, and I have an extremely special treat for you today. The yacht in front of us is a super yacht from one of my favorite shipyards. This is the Baglietto T52. Now this yacht is named Daybreak. It was first delivered in 2024. It has a steel hull and an aluminum superstructure. Baglietto is an Italian shipyard, and as I said, they're one of my favorite shipyards out there. This yacht has so many incredible areas and incredible features, so sit back, relax. I think you're really going to enjoy this one, and thank you, of course, to Baglietto for granting me access on board. The length overall is 52.32 meters, or 171 feet. The beam is 8.94 meters, or 31 feet, and it has a draft of 2.57 meters, or 8 feet and 5 inches. And as you can see, this yacht has an absolutely stunning profile in the water. And another fantastic feature on this yacht, when you look at it from an aft perspective,
That's what I'm just asking.
it features a 3-tiered beach club, which I'll show off a little bit better when we make our way on board. But before we do that, I did want to come around to the other side, because once again, we can see its incredible profile at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. And you get a sneak peek. There is a gym down in this area, and it does have a fold-out terrace where you can see the hammock setup. But I'm just going to move as far as we can. All right, now it's time we can finally head on board and check out this beautiful Baglietto. We're going to slip our shoes off, of course. So as you can see, where the transom wall is located, this area actually folds down flush. So you have an even larger swim platform near the water. And this is what I mean by the 3-tiered beach club. You have this lower area, you have an intermediate area in between. So you can see sun pads flanking on either side. And then in front of that, we have a plunge pool. And this is a fantastic convertible space because this pool can actually be emptied, the floor will raise up, and then you have a teak platform in this space. So if you wanted additional seating, you could have it, or of course, you can set it up with the pool as it is now. This 3-tiered beach club is one of my favorite aspects of this yacht, and we are just getting started. And continuing on to the aft deck, you'll see a massive seating area. And there are several showings going on right now, so we might have to work around some people here and there. But we have the powered glass doors that grant us access to the main salon. Guys, take a look at this. I know I'm going to be repeating myself a lot, but this yacht is simply stunning.
I'm not 100% sure. What I do know is we're going straight from here to Juneau, and then if I'm not mistaken,
You can see the formal seating areas on either side, and I like how the center line is clear. Let me talk a little bit about the materials you're going to see. Naturally, there's going to be high-end materials all throughout this yacht. The interior design was done by Studio Baglietto, and they opted for teak flooring with a nice mix of Calcutta Macchia Vecchia marble, that's a mouthful, as well as some onyx accents. So as you can see, a lot of the onyx stone will be backlit in certain areas. And before we even move forward to the formal dining area, we're going to backpedal for a moment because we have a door right here, and this is what leads down to the gym area. There's another door which leads out to the side deck. Then if we come down here, first of all, this is where we access the engine room, so we're going to come back to this later in the tour. For now, I just wanted to check out the gym. So as you can see, you have all of your workout equipment in here. The floor is rubberized. There is a day head located over in this direction. And then of course, on the far side of the room, on the starboard side, you have 4 steps up. There's also a TV here. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But we have the 4 steps up, and this is where we have the hammock set up on the fold-out balcony. And you can see in the floor there is a window, so when this is closed, you still get some natural light in this space. So we will duck down and let's stand out here on this balcony. What an awesome place to hang out near the water. As you can see, this was the dock where we started. All right, there's a lot of yacht to see, so let's keep it moving. All right, back into the main salon. Just this one entrance space, guys. This absolutely blows me away. You have floor-to-ceiling windows flanking either side. And then I'm not 100% certain, but I believe there is a TV that folds down from the ceiling in this direction. We can see the lighting in the ceiling is somewhat shifted over to this side, and I believe that's so the TV can fold down. And then continuing forward, you have your formal dining space. I'm going to run out of adjectives because once again, this is absolutely stunning. Look at this onyx accent piece. And then once again, you get a close-up of those floor-to-ceiling windows. All right, enough of the main salon. Let's continue forward. Here we have a side access door. So this is your main foyer for the yacht. The stairs will go up to the bridge deck and then down to the additional guest cabins. And this, of course, is a design choice, but this yacht doesn't actually have 6 guest cabins. It actually only has 5. So that, of course, is a personal choice because you could easily fit 6 cabins on a yacht this size. But here, of course, is the day head. And then through this door, this is where the owner's private domain begins. You're greeted by a very large walk-in closet. And then continuing forward, there's a lounger over on this side. You have massive windows, a massive TV, and then check out the rest of the room. You can see your desk over here. There's an extremely large window as well. And then you have additional storage in places like this. And then of course we're gonna find an out of this world ensuite, which we'll find right here. You have the double vanity. The toilet is on the far side of the room. Behind me is a second toilet. And each have their own privacy doors. And then in the middle, this is where we find the shower. We have the double rainfall setup, as well as a large bench. We have some very vibey music playing. We'll find out at the end when I'm editing this if this music is copywritten or not. We'll see. YouTube is pretty strict about that. Maybe we'll have to do some voiceover, but we'll find out later on. Once again, we have a stunning mix of materials on the staircase. And this brings us down into the hallway. I think we'll start over here. And naturally, every single room on this yacht, because there's only 4 guest cabins down here, they're all very large rooms. You have your desk space. And then a double vanity in here. Then I imagine one of these is the shower, and the other one will have the toilet. And also, you may have noticed they're integrated so nicely. You have these high gloss panels over here with the stainless steel handles, and these are your closets. I imagine the room is mirrored to us across the hallway. You can see with some of the overhead lights off, it's very moody in here. But the accent lighting really elevates it. And we're about to run into some traffic, so I'm not going to show you the shower and the toilet. They're the exact same as the last room. Here, of course, is cabin number 4. And these rooms are slightly smaller, but you still have a very large bed. The single vanity. And then, of course, the rainfall shower. I think they did a fantastic job mixing in all these lacquered wood finishes, all of the stone and marble with the teak flooring. That's not always easy to do. And then last but not least, across the hall, we have one more cabin, and this one has the 2 singles. Their closet space is over here. The TV's half behind the door. And then here is the ensuite. And it looks like this one actually has the shower tub combo. So you still have the rainfall shower. You have the vein matched or the book matched marble. And then you also have the tub. I imagine if this is the kids' room and they need to take a bath, that's why you have it set up like this. And then also from this area, you can also access the crew domain directly. There is a door here. So if we push through, so this will access the crew domain directly so they can easily service the cabins. We will get a quick shot of the crew mess. All right, and then from that crew space where we saw, if you were looking forward, there was another door, and behind that door is the hallway for all the crew quarters. Except for the captain's cabin, his or hers is located upstairs behind the bridge. Speaking of the bridge, we're up on the bridge deck. We have another day head. I just love how we have one design on one side of the door, a completely separate design on the other side. And then through this entrance, this is where we find the Sky Lounge. This is another beautiful area, perhaps a bit more casual than the main salon down below. We have a massive L-shaped seating section and also a giant TV on the wall. And then there's still a couple more places inside I'm going to show you, but we're going to keep it moving for now. You have those massive doors that lead out to the bridge deck aft, and another large alfresco dining space. Then over in this section, you have ample amounts of storage. You also have a refrigerator and freezer behind each of these vented doors. and of course, the built-in barbecue. And then we also have this freestanding furniture, customizable to your liking. Then I think we're gonna bypass this viewing party and we'll make our way back inside, so I'll show you a couple more areas and then we'll go up to the sun deck. Actually, while we're here, I did want to point out on the side decks, I love how the railings are just the pure glass alone. So when you're in the Sky Lounge, you get unobstructed views out onto the water. Just a small detail I wanted to point out. And then you can also get a sense of the scale of this door that opens up. So this door is powered, and this grants you access into the crew domain again. Down this staircase is where we find the galley. There's also the prep space for the stews for this level. We have another door separating the areas, and then this is what grants us access to the bridge. So the captain has their office space. Then of course, we have an extremely modern bridge in here. Looks like 6 multi-function displays, and they're also very large screens. And this is well beyond my expertise, so I'm not even going to try to explain what all these different systems do. Of course, you can see your cameras. But this is laid out so nicely. You can see the digital gauges up overhead and the red accent light. Then we have 2 captain's chairs on each side, and then just a spot to lean against. And if you ever wondered why sometimes you don't see a captain's chair right in the middle, that's because typically when you're underway, actually on the open ocean, this yacht will be cruising on autopilot, so the captain doesn't necessarily need to sit right at the steering wheel. It's only when they're docking this vessel, whether they're using a wing station or from right here, where they actually need to stand there to control the boat. And then we have side access doors leading out on either side. And also the captain's cabin is located just aft of this area. You have that beautifully detailed door, just like all the other areas. Also, there's a very small settee with a small table. It's finished extremely nicely in here. That's always great to see. And then the other area inside that we still need to check out is the galley. I'm going to come back to that. Don't worry, I'm not going to forget. While we're here with this open door, let's head out to the foredeck. You can see one of the wing stations I was talking about. And then up here, this is where they store most of the toys and tenders. So we can see one of your tenders right here. We have a secondary safety tender, of course. We have 2 sea-doos. Then here you can see the other wing station. Then it almost looks like an optical illusion. You might be wondering, what is this huge cutout here? That's because there's actually a staircase leading down to the main deck. And then because it's just a glass railing, it's very hard to make out. It's so clean and clear, but that is the deck where we were showing you that glass railing earlier on the bridge deck aft. But it kind of, at least in person, it gives a very funky appearance. It looks like the deck simply disappears, which technically it does. And then I was told by the crew, unfortunately we can't get into it, but we will see the main crane right in the middle. And then underneath this area in a forward position, they have a massive toy locker, essentially a second garage where they can fit all types of water toys. And that's very standard on a super yacht like this. I believe it's located underneath this section, and potentially a mix underneath here as well. But let's head all the way to the front of the yacht. And of course, we have very impressive ground tackle. You can see the winches with the anchor chains going out on either side. And you also probably saw it before from the bridge, but it does have the vertical windows, trying to enhance the visibility as best as possible. And then I'm gonna head back on this side so you can see the difference. On this side, I can make it all the way back to the bridge deck aft, but on the starboard side, you go down the stairs back to the main deck. So once you kind of understand that configuration, it's much easier to navigate. There is a secondary staircase right here, which brings you up to the sun deck. And then there's another staircase all the way aft. So there's a lot of ways to get around this yacht. And then of course, where we started on the aft deck, down on the main level, there's another staircase. So before we head upstairs, let's backtrack for a moment, because I do want to show you the galley. And also, maybe I just want to be inside this beautiful yacht a little bit more. So we don't have access to this room. I believe I heard a crew member say it's a bonus cabin for either a crew member or for an additional guest if you need to. So actually, maybe you do technically have the 6 cabins. I don't think they officially count it as a guest cabin though. So that's like a hybrid space. Then if we go back to the formal dining room. All right, I'll show you the main salon for 5 more seconds. Okay. Through this door, this is where we find the galley. And this door is also powered. So you can see there's going to be a prep space, a side access door, so it's very easy for the crew to get around. We have a wine fridge. You have plenty of cold storage. There's also additional cold storage down below. On a yacht like this with a great range, you always need that additional cold storage, but it's not always located in the galley. Then you can see your commercial appliances. Currently, this yacht has 10 crew members in total. And then earlier when we saw the crew mess, it's located down this staircase. And then here is some of that additional cold storage I was mentioning. And there's also even more down below. And in the brochure, it said there's 9 crew members, but I was talking to a crew member and they said currently there's 10. All right, let's go back upstairs now. Trying to avoid getting anyone on camera that doesn't want to be, of course. We're always extremely respectful at these shows. And if you're enjoying this Baglietto T52 thus far, please leave a like on the video. Also comment down below, let me know what your initial thoughts are. Like I said before, Baglietto is one of my favorite shipyards. I don't think I've toured one that I haven't liked. And fingers crossed we'll keep that going as we tour more and more of them. All right, we have 3 loungers. And of course you can customize this area to your liking. You have a ton of open space here. So if you're throwing a party, maybe this is where you put the dance floor. But there's also a shade that can be put up overhead. And once again, I love how Baglietto sets us up. We have the speakers built in. Then you can see where the glass railing is, and we have the white sections that slowly slope down and the glass gets taller and taller. And that continues all the way to the back, where now we just have the glass railing. That's just a little detail I really like. And then this sun deck, we're standing all the way back in the corner. And as you can see, it's an extremely large space. We have the mast overhead with your radar and satellite domes. We have our seating area right in the middle. And guys, I think this is actually a fire pit. Obviously this will be self-contained, so it's very safe, but still a very cool feature to have. And And then continuing forward, here's the staircase on the side that we saw earlier. We also have the built-in bar section. And then there's a mini bar over on this side. So depending on if you have food set up or a drink set up, you have a lot of options here. And then everyone's favorite, you have the jacuzzi. And this is one of the best jacuzzis I've ever seen on a yacht. On this side, we have the marbled bar top, wrapped in stainless steel. So if you're standing here conversing with people in the hot tub, or if you're in the hot tub and you just need somewhere to put your drink, you have it. And then this is a massive pool. Currently it's not hot, so it's just in the pool configuration, but I believe it's both, so it can be a cold pool or a hot tub. And then in front of this space, you have more loungers, so everyone can get in on the action. And there's also a shade once again over this area. And let's just take a look off the front of this yacht. We're filming this at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. So we have super yachts everywhere we look. But even with all of these yachts, this still might be my favorite one at the show. All right, where to next? I think we've seen most of the areas, but we still need to go check out the engine room. So I think that is our next destination. I'm trying to just think in my brain. We've seen the gym, we've seen all the interior spaces, we've accessed all the crew areas that were available. So yeah, I think we just have to go see the engines. And of course, I'll give you additional shots as we make our way down, just so you can take it all in. And also, let's see if this original aft deck is a little more clear, because I know it was very busy earlier. Excuse me. As you saw, or maybe I cut it, it's not less busy at all, it's actually more busy. So before we head in there, we'll give you one more look in this section. All right, now let's check out this engineering space. It's through this door here. Here we can see the chief engineer's office, where they have visibility into the engine room. Excuse me. And of course, on a yacht like this, we're gonna have water makers, all types of advanced systems on board. Actually, you can see your water makers right down here. And then if we continue forward, we have generators on each side, and we're actually standing on a platform that's slightly raised over the engines. One of the reasons I love these yachts so much, especially on the larger ones, the levels of engineering you get on these are absolutely insane to me. These yachts are both physically beautiful, but also mechanically beautiful if that's something you're into. And then let me tell you about the performance. This yacht comes with a pair of Cat engines. Here, I think we can see a better shot right here. These are Cat C32 engines, 1,081 horsepower each. Your top speed is 17 knots. You can cruise at 11 knots, and we're looking at 4,500 nautical miles of range. So it's a very capable yacht to explore the world in. And we're gonna try to keep the chief engineer off the camera. Thank you so much. close him back in there. He's busy at work. But very graciously, let me invade his space. Excuse me. And I said it in the beginning, guys, the 3-tiered beach club, it's one of my favorite areas. It's such a cool look when this floor raises up and then you just have additional space. And then a few steps down, here are those 2 sun pads. Then lastly, right up at the water, the final transom wall that folds out for your swim platform. The main salon was incredibly busy. Because it was so busy, guys, let's just head over in this direction, find someplace quiet to talk. Thank you, of course, to Baglietto Yachts. They're allowing me to film directly for them. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you, every time you comment on a video, every time you like the videos, to all the subscribers, whether you've been here for a while or if you're newer to the channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. All of the engagement, all your viewership, that's what allows me to travel to these shows and film all these exquisite yachts. So without you, I wouldn't be here. Thank you again so much for watching. If you want to see another Baglietto, you can click this button here and check it out. And if not, then we will catch you next time.